Hello, and welcome back to the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is Ade, and I am here to bring you a reading for the spring equinox that is coming in this week. And this reading is what is blossoming in my next 7 days. So we're just looking at the week ahead, but we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive. We're going to look into what is blossoming in yourself, what is blossoming in your connections, what is blossoming in your work or abundance, and then some quick guidance from Spirit. So I am going to do a pick a pile. There will be 3 piles, and you can go directly into the pile if you don't want to kind of sit through the pile picking. I will put the timestamps in the description and in the comments. Again, I want to thank all of those who have subscribed or liked or shared the video. Please take a moment now to click that subscribe button so that we can continue to grow the community and I can reach more souls that might be interested in gaining this information from the readings. Otherwise, I will start the pile picking, but you can choose by the crystals if you would prefer. And so the first pile is going to be this citrine crystal for pile 1. Pile 2 will be the Lapis Lazuli. And pile 3 will be the Opal. Okay. So, as I said, you can go directly to the timestamps and jump to your reading. Otherwise, I'm going to pause and then jump right into the pile picking. We have a couple of decks to pull from here. So let's get started. Okay, so Spirit, for pile number 1, I'm going to start from the bottom up of the reading, and I want to know what would be the guidance for Spirit in regards to managing what is blossoming in the next 7 days of pile number 1. So just a quick oracle card on that, guidance from Spirit for what's blossoming in the next 7 days. And it looks like it's going to be that one. And then for pile 2, and for pile 3. Pile 3. That's that one. Okay. And then for pile 1, and additional guidance from Spirit for pile 1. Additional guidance from Spirit for pile 1. Pile 1. And for pile 2. Pile 2, Spirit, what is the guidance? Looks like it's going to be this one right in here. And for pile 3. Pile 3. I'm hoping that everyone is, depending on where you're living, that you're starting to get a little bit of warmth, or some of you have had warmth for a moment. We are just starting to get a little bit of warmth, and it tried to get cold on us again. Okay, and now I'm going to pull the tarot for in regards to your work or abundance. Your work and abundance. So, Spirit, for pile number 1, they need to know is blossoming in regards to their work and abundance. And for pile number 2, looks like it's that one, and that is going to be too many. That one, okay. And then for pile number 3, in regards to work and abundance, that one popped right out. That's one. And for pile number 3, work and abundance. All right. And then for connection, for your connections, and these connections can be any type of connections. One, oops, looks like that's going to be two, connections. One, and two. And for pile three, connections for pile three. It's blossoming for pile three. One. Blossoming. Oops. Pile three. Looks like it's that one. All right. All right, and then we are looking at what is blossoming in the self. And self is like the most important. So what's blossoming in the self? For pile one, got one. Okay. For two, what's blossoming in the self? And then for pile two, what's blossoming in the self? What's blossoming in the self? Blossoming in the self for pile two. For pile two. One, two, and for pile three. One, and for pile three. One more for pile three. What is blossoming in the self? Blossoming. Oh. A lot of blossoming going on over there. All right. So those are going to be the tarot cards, and then just as kind of an overall, we'll pull a couple of tea leaves for each one. In terms of overall, what is blossoming? Oh, that is going to be, well, there's three, so I'm going to take them. And for, oops, this one keeps wanting to pop up. So we'll do one more for pile two. One more for pile two. And for pile three. For pile three. One. And for pile, ooh. Looks like those three wanted to pop out. All right. So those are going to be your piles. And we will dig into what is blossoming for you all in the next 7 days. So pile 1 has the Citrine. Pile 2 has the Lapis Lazuli. And pile 3 has the Opal. All right, so again, take a moment if you would to click that subscribe button, and I will see you in your readings. Hello, pile number 1. Let's jump into your reading. If you chose the Citrine crystal, then this is going to be your reading. And just as a quick reminder, in case you didn't hear the intro, what this reading is covering today is we're talking about what is blossoming in my next 7 days. We're kind of in that period of time of the spring equinox. I thought we would look at that. So we're going to do kind of an overview of that, and we're going to look at what's blossoming in the self, what's blossoming in my connections, and what's blossoming in my work or abundance, and then just some quick guidance from Spirit. So let's look at some overarching things that are going to be blossoming for you within the next 7 days. And there's a lot of information here, so we'll have to look at it in the context of what's actually really feasible within the next 7 days. But I think that some of it may carry over because we've pulled multiple cards. It may carry over into, probably the next 7 to 10 days. Okay, so let's get started. So for your tea leaves, you have got fan, romance, celebration, or a party. Okay, that's certainly something to look forward to. You've got psychic ability, trust your intuition. Wow. And this is really talking about too, like that your intuition is going to be really important, because when you don't lean into your intuition because of how it works in your life, that's when you're going to find that you make the biggest mistakes. So it's really important for you to lean into your intuition, pile one, most definitely. Okay. And then strong emotions, passionate love or hate. Okay, so this is also kind of a little bit of a warning too. So there's definitely some energy of romance here, but really thinking about trying to keep things in balance. And I think one of the ways that you'll be able to do that is by leaning into your intuition, trusting yourself a bit more as you are moving into, some of you may be coming into a new romance, but even if it is an existing partnership and one that you're working with, the guidance here is really to lean and trust in your heart and your intuition. Okay. And so let's look now at what is blossoming in the self. What is blossoming in the self? And the cards that you got, the 8 of Cups. Okay. The 8 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. Okay, very interesting. So in regards to what's blossoming in the self, what I'm really seeing here, the 7 of Cups. Well, let's start. Okay, so let's start with the 8 of Cups. So the 8 of Cups is really talking about a loss, a letting go, a grief of some kind. There is a need here. You know, it's almost like the woman in the little ladybug dress here is walking above her emotions. There's a bunch of emotions that are going on underneath. And she's seeing sort of these partnered animals up. You know, they're all partnered. And she is on her own. And there's this sense of sort of disappointment and loss. So there's something inside yourself that is bubbling up in terms of thinking about how it is that you're dealing with your emotion. There may be a sense of loneliness that is coming up. So in terms of what's blossoming, but what's really incredible is that you've got the 7 of Cups along with it here. And the 7 of Cups is all about choices. And she is just sitting on the cloud in the divine, really looking at all of the various possibilities and options and opportunities. And she has the ability to manifest and pull from the sky that star that she wants, the choice that she wants to make. So it's telling me that you all may be coming from a place of loss and disappointment. You may have been going through some healing. You may have gone through a hurt of some kind. But what is blossoming for you, what is coming forth within the next probably 7 to 10 days is a recognition, a realization of the multiple choices that you have before you in regards to your entire life, and that you have the opportunity to twist lost in disappointment into sparkling stars in your skies. Okay, so that's a beautiful thing to see coming forth in the new spring equinox. But there's really a sense of newness, transformation, and love here. Because you've got 2 cups energy here too. So it's really a space of emotion and love and feeling. Okay. That's what I'm really seeing in the self. So let's look now at what's blossoming in your connections. And when I looked at connections, it really can be any type of connections that you have. So it can be romantic or platonic, but and it also can be your connection to self. Even though we're looking at self here, there's also like in regards to how you're seeing yourself, how you're taking care of yourself, etc., etc. And so we've got this little card that says, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. So for some of you, you're in partnership. And this is a message from a beloved. Okay. For some of you who are not in partnership, and this feels to me like it's a message of self-love, and it's also a message of future love. So I think that that's a really, really beautiful message in terms of looking at what is blossoming for you in the spring of in regards to your connections. So there's a sense of love. Not all of these speak specifically about love. Some of them speak about just connection. So it's telling to me that that is coming up in this reading. Now the cards that you have, beautiful. The Page of Materials, which is the Page of Pentacles in this deck. And the Queen of Emotions. So here we're talking about connections. What is blossoming in your connections? This is definitely speaking about some type of love and manifestation. So some of you all have been working on manifesting a love, or manifesting a reignition of passion and love in an existing relationship. I'm going to adjust these a bit so that you can clearly see the cards here. Okay, so you've got the love piece here, and then you've got the Eight of Cups. So these are on the self, okay? And then we've got the Page of Pentacles or Materials, and the Queen of Emotions. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles, I love this energy so much. It is about manifesting, okay? Discovering how to create abundance. It's like you're in this place where you have been really manifesting newness. You know, she's in this beautiful picture. It's like she is literally manifesting the flower next to her and the flower on her dresses, right? It's a new energy. Talks about new beginnings, new skills, you know, a student that's working on the future, but it creating abundance, practicing and planning. All right. So in regards to your connections, many of you may be dealing with a new connection of some kind, or in the process of really manifesting what it is that you want in connection and beginning to do the work. Or if you are in an existing relationship, you are actually looking at what can you do? How can you plan and work on growing that relationship in some kind, growing the passion and the fire in that relationship. So that is really it's really the Page of Materials is really this energy of manifesting newness, discovering how to create abundance, okay? And then you've got the Queen of Emotions, which is all about deep, deep feeling, and particularly love. She really is the owner of love, emotional intuition, and intelligence. She's all about creativity, joyful and meaningful connections. That is really, really the gist of who she is. This is so beautiful. I didn't even see the woman up there at the top, you guys, until right now. I've seen this card before and I never saw that. Wow, that's beautiful. There's just really, you know, this is almost like, to me, that is like an image of like self-love, but there's also this image of like really fully standing in your power of love and emotion and feeling, and therefore bringing it unto you, right? Bringing it unto you. So, you know, I feel like this energy is both within you and also supporting you. The energy of the Queen of Emotions is like supporting you on your journey as you journey in this Eight of Cups toward finding what it is your destiny, letting go of the disappointment, letting go of the loss, letting go of the past hurt that you may have had in past connections, and really being ready to embrace, manifest fully what you truly want. That is a gorgeous energy. Okay, so that is about your connections. And then let's look now at what are you blossoming in your work in abundance. And you have got the Eight of Cups and the Magician. All of this energy of manifestation is so, so lovely. Now, the thing about the Eight of Cups is it really does talk about letting go. It talks about releasing the things that no longer serve you. You know, it's almost like taking something. So if we're talking about looking at your work environment or your abundance, to me, this is hitting me twofold with the Eight of Cups, because Eight of Cups is also about emotions, but it reminds me in this card of walking away from past feelings, right? Past feelings, past ideas around abundance and work. You may have had a more rigid way of thinking about how things had to be a certain way with your performance at work or within your career, or you had to follow a certain path. And this is saying it's time to let those things go, that what is coming forward for you, what is going to be blossoming for you, is your ability to manifest more of the life that you want within your career and within your profession. Okay, this is really a lovely energy, because even though it's a letting go, and sometimes letting go can be hard, I feel like this could be, some of you could be actually letting go of an actual job or an actual role of some kind and shifting and manifesting something new. But many of you are probably going to be letting go of ideas, old, outdated ideas, thoughts about your, or the way that you need to move or maneuver within your career that no longer serve you, but have been on repeat in your life. Okay. And what this is telling me is that what is going to be blossoming is the newness, the new power of your manifestation or manifestations that you have already been working on. So that is gorgeous. Okay, so there's a lot of really beautiful things that are looking that they are going to be manifesting for you. Okay, you've got sort of a balance of your emotions that are going to be manifesting. You've got manifesting kind of throughout. So there's a real sense that what is going to be blossoming for you is, if you're not already in the practice of manifesting the things that you want in your life, you're going to begin to take on that power a bit more strongly. Okay. And that, you're going to begin to notice that you have abundant choices to reach out, to shift the things in your life and bring about the things that you want. This reading is also telling you to trust your intuition, that you have psychic ability, and that this psychic ability is something that you need to lean on as you're making the decisions to transform in your life. And now let's look at final messages from Spirit. And you've got dry desert, and we'll talk about that. And you've got wild rose fairy love. I love that card so much. It just always makes me happy whenever I see it, because it's just really just saying to you, you are just keenly adored by so many, and you may not even realize how much you are truly adored. Now, the thing about the dry desert card is all about being flexible and adaptable, because when you're in the desert, you cannot use the regular methods of finding to be able to meet your needs. Okay, the water is not right at the surface. You are required to dig deep. Okay, dig deep for inspiration and truth, because now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. All right. So as you're walking through this path of moving yourself toward your dreams, there is this message here from Spirit is really saying, beloved, we're going to need you to be adaptable. We're going to need you to look a little deeper within yourself, look a little deeper within the people and the connections around you, look a little deeper into your work environment, your career environment, because there's a need for you to do some letting go in that arena and be able to manifest what you want. And in order to manifest what you want, you need to get clear about it. And so there is going to be a need for you to look a little deeper underneath the sand to find the water of your soul. Okay, that is really what that is saying. And then for the love piece here, this is just so gorgeous, because it really just says, like, you are deeply, deeply loved. You are cherished. You have an open heart and you are ready to receive, and love is on its way. You're an internal vessel for love to flow through. You are enough just as you are. So this is a gorgeous message. You all have got love, abundance, some changes, some balancing of emotions, manifesting the things that you want in your life, all blossoming within these next 7 to 10 days. So I'm excited for you. And I am eager to see, if if this resonates for you, please drop a note in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And with that being said, I hope you have a joyful and abundant day. Thanks so much for checking in. Bye-bye. Hello, Pal 2. Welcome back to the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is Ade. And if you chose the Lapis Lazuli, then this is going to be your reading. And just as a reminder, what the reading is today is we're digging into what is blossoming in your life in the next 7 to 10 days, okay? And we're going to look at a couple of different areas. So we're going to look at what's blossoming in yourself, what's blossoming in your connections, and what's blossoming in your work or abundance, and then some quick guidance from Spirit. So we're going to start with like a little bit of an overview by looking at your tea leaves. Wow, you've got Jug, light-hearted, carefree time. Don't we all need that? Okay. And you've got a distant friend is thinking of you. Okay, dog far away. A distant friend is thinking of you. Lovely. Okay, so let's look at what is blossoming in yourself. And you've got the King of Cups. Look at that gorgeous energy. This really tells me that part of what's blossoming in you right now is a balancing of your inner emotions and inner feelings. You may have been feeling a little bit of out of sorts or sort of drowning amongst your own feelings of things that have been happening for you. But the King of Cups is a very balanced individual. He has learned to master the realm of emotions and is able, notice how the ship is able to sail above with ease over the turbulent waters underneath. And the waters really represent the emotion that you may be going through. So this is really telling me that you all have been struggling a bit with your emotion, your emotional balance, and what's going to be blossoming for you in the very near future is having a better sense of balance over your emotions. The other card that we have for self, wow, is the Emperor. Wow. Okay. So as you have become more balanced with your emotions, the Emperor, what's really, these are both really strong cards, right? Because one's a king and then the other one is the Emperor. But the Emperor tends to be a little bit more rational in thought, a little more focused on the intellect. But what makes him also a bit different is that and this is actually a female emperor here, but the emperor really leans into strategy. Okay, but there's a sense of, when I look at this card, there's a sense of dominion that you are going to have over your environment, okay, over the next 7 to 10 days. And I think that is a direct result of the balance that you have achieved with your overall emotionality, right? And being able to have balance in your emotions allows you to be able to lead in a way that is a bit more balanced, really. And the Emperor is also a kind protective leader as well. Although it is a little odd that the people are on strings underneath it, but the thought is that the Emperor is protecting them as well. But yeah, so that is that. But I really get the sense for you that there's a sense of balancing your emotions, and the blossoming is there's a sense in which you're going to stand like a boss, if you will, within your life. There's a way in which you're going to reign above in your life over the next week or two. So that's really very powerful energy. And now we're going to look at what's blossoming in your connections. And so I pulled this little heart card, and you've got criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are in your relationship will magically transform. And this card is really speaking to me about communication. So what is possible to blossom in your connections is a need for greater acceptance of one another and greater communication so that you can exhibit that acceptance of one another. Okay. So whether you're in partnership or not, there is a sense of like a greater level of acceptance and grace to your relationships. And these relationships can be your partnership, it can be platonic relationships, it can be familiar relationships within your family, whatever it may be. There's a sense that in order to really allow your relationships to transform, you need to grow your ability to love and accept the other person just as they are. Okay. And oftentimes there's a need to do that within our families too, because we make assumptions about who people are, and then we never allow them to grow and transform and be who they are meant to be in this life. We keep them pigeonholed into what we believe them to be at a certain age, right? And so there's a sense of like really looking with new eyes, fresh eyes on your relationships and accepting everyone for who and what they are and what they bring to the table. And that also means that you have to accept yourself. Okay. I'm going to push these up so these other cards will be able to be seen. And then we're going to look at, this is also dealing with your connections. Okay. And you've got the Knight of Inspiration, which is the Knight of Wands, and the Death card. Okay. And again, this is about letting go. And in this deck, I really feel strongly that the Death card is so much, and I really did not see that image of that face behind there. I've seen this card and read from this card a couple of times, but I never saw that. But what this is also speaking to is about letting go of old dated thoughts. Okay. So within your connections, we just talked about this need to accept people as they are today, really, and there's a sense of this need to kind of let go of some old ideas. So if you're in partnership with someone, remember that in order to keep a partnership fresh, you need to look upon each other with fresh eyes every day. You're making a choice every day to stay in partnership with someone, to explore them, to explore yourself in that partnership. And so there's a need for you to let go of long-held, rigid beliefs about individuals in your life, no matter whether they be a love partner or whether they be another type of partner, but to allow people the freedom to grow and be who they are and accept them for who they are, because it allows you to have the freedom of idea, of expression, of inspiration. The Knight of Inspiration is a very fast moving energy, and it's an energy of creativity. It's an energy of growth, of passion, fire. It's just a beautiful energy, a spontaneous creation. Taking risks, charging forward, following your dream, okay? Getting things done, moving quickly. So all of that, I feel like, is a part of thinking about your connections as you let go of some of these outdated ideas to allow this inspiration, allow this passion, allow this fast-moving energy to come in and bring you anew. Bring the connections that you have to a starting point. I'm trying to find the right word to freshen, to bring you to a fresh place with your relationships and partnerships. Okay, there's a sense of letting go of old, outdated ideas within the next 7 to 10 days. Whether it just be one idea or one way of seeing someone, really one way of seeing someone, and allowing them to be look upon them with fresh eyes. All right. So that's the message that I have there. Now let's look at your blossoming in your work or abundance. And you've got the King of Wands, beautiful energy, and the Page of Wands. See, can you see that? Okay. Okay, so we're talking about in the world of work and abundance. Okay. Now the King of Wands is a very, very beautiful, solid energy because it is a king, but he is passionate. He is creative. He is a natural born leader. Okay. He stands in strength. You can see the lion behind him, right? So much power and energy, such a creative force. And I feel like there is an energy within your work or whatever project you might be working on in which you need to bring this energy, and that you're going to find that that energy is blossoming within you. The other thing is, what's nice is that you've got the Page of Wands here too. And the Page of Wands lets me know that this is kind of a new energy, right? Because the Page of Wands is thirsty for, thirsty for explosive creativity, enthusiasm, has ideas coming just from every direction, very creative beginnings, newly found inspiration. So there is a sense that in your work and in how you're approaching your gaining abundance in your life, that you are going to be infused with an influx of new ideas, new enthusiasm, new ways of approaching the things that you need to do within your work that can open up new doors for you with regards to abundance. It's a youthful energy. It is a freshness that really opens the door to fresh ways of receiving abundance and fresh ways of receiving it. And I'm trying to articulate this, and new pathways for abundance to flow into your life. New fresh ideas of how you're approaching it and new ways of bringing it in. Okay. So it's like how you're outputting is new and how you're receiving is new is what I'm trying to get at. So I hope that makes sense to you all. So this is a beautiful energy in terms of what can be blossoming in the next 7 to 10 days. And let's look at what your spirit guides are saying in regards to guidance. And you've got Ride the Wave. This card is so lovely because it really is talking about going with the flow. So there may be, I'm really getting a lot of passionate energy, particularly within this workspace, but then also in the Knight of Inspirations, because that's the Knight of Wands. So we've got the Knight of Wands, Page of Wands, and the King of Wands. So a lot of fire is existing here in this reading, okay? And so as you're letting go, Spirit is really saying, go with the flow of things. It's okay to allow some ideas to go. You may even have to let some ways in which you're working and possibly even some people go. It just depends on what is happening in your life within the next 7 to 10 days. But there's a great energy here. And so there's a sense of just get on to that energy and ride the wave of that energy. And that is going to bring you to your abundance. The other message that you have here is happiness. And I love this little bluebird spirit. It's such a sweet little bird. And, it's really the messenger of happiness. Okay. And the bluebird spirit really says that all is really well. Okay. All is good. And it's time to say yes to life. Let your doubts dissolve. Don't wait until the future. Just live fully right now. You don't need to struggle or suffer to grow. You can grow leaps and bounds amid joy. So allow yourself to just be in joy. It just reminds me of this Page of Wands energy of just this jumping joy, this new creative energy that's coming in. This is a beautiful energy to be going into the week with. And I really hope that you all are finding all the abundant joy in your week. I want to thank you for turning into the channel of Abundant Joy Tarot. And I ask that if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next reading. Have a joyful day, y'all. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to the Abundant Joy Tarot. If you have chosen this opal, then this is going to be your reading. If you could take a moment, please, and just hit that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to grow the community. So, and let's jump right into your reading. So if you did miss the introduction, I want to make sure that you know what we're covering here in this reading. So what we're talking about is what is blossoming in your life within probably the next 7 to 10 days is what I'm finding, because these messages have been fairly expansive. And we're looking at what is blossoming in yourself, what is blossoming in your connections, and what is blossoming in your work or abundance, and then a quick word of guidance from Spirit. We'll start first by looking at your tea leaves to get an overall energy in terms of some things that may be blossoming for you within the next 7 to 10 days. So with that being said, let's jump in, okay? So you've got needle and thread, and sincere wish will be granted. Wonderful. We always want our wishes to be granted. Apple, temptation will test you. Okay, so be mindful of that. And then you've got mountain road. You are on the road to success. Okay. And it may be that road, you've been on that road for a minute. That's what I heard in my head, that this pile number 3, you've been working on something for a while. And I also feel like that wish, it says a sincere wish will be granted, is something that you may have almost forgotten what the wish is, but that you asked for it with all sincerity. And it may have just taken some time to get to you. Okay. But there is definitely going to be some blossoming of that within the self. And so let's look at the tarot cards that we pulled for blossoming within yourself over the next 7 to 10 days. Beautiful. You've got the 2 of Wands. I love this image so much because there's a sense of being at home with oneself as she's sitting on this roof. And by being at home with oneself, she is literally holding the whole world in her hand. And, the moon is shining down. It's like Spirit is sort of giving her the light of her intuition is flowing in. And that intuition will guide her, because the 2 of Wands is about making a decision, choosing your goals, and then taking an action toward them. Okay. So there's a sense of in terms of what's blossoming for you is this understanding of what it is that you need to do, what action you need to take that's going to bring you further towards your dreams, and then the ability, the fortitude, and the perseverance to actually take that action over the next 7 to 10 days. So I really see you moving forward in the direction of your dreams, inspired and supported by Spirit and your own intuition. It's lovely for the self. And the Queen of Cups. Look at that lovely image. Wow. Wow. The other reading, I can't remember which one it was, but the other reading also had the Queen of Cups. I think actually that was in their connections place. But within your self space, the Queen of Cups is really talking about, she has mastered her emotional realm, and she is able to love deeply. She's able to love deeply and understands that there is balance to the emotions. So she can drop deep into her emotions and come out on the other side unscathed, right? Because she has balanced that field. She is the master of it, right? She's just a beautiful, beautiful I completely lost my word. Energy. She's a beautiful energy. It says to me that in regards to yourself, you've developed a stronger sense of empathy and sensitivity and tender feelings, allowing yourself to feel the feelings that you're feeling. And that's a beautiful space, because you need to know that you're being held in that space, and that whatever growth that you've been doing in that space of allowing your feelings to flow freely through is only going to serve you in every other aspect of your life, because it's showing up here as something that is blossoming for you. Blossoming for you is your feelings, your emotions, and your balance of those feelings and emotions. That's just so gorgeous. And so now let's look into what is going to be blossoming in your connections. And so we have this little heart card. Wow, look at that. It says transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. And I feel like if you're not in partnership, it's really about your relationship to self. Okay. If you are in partnership, this is really speaking about that relationship and being able to deepen how you are loving on each other, right? Really deepening the connection so that it is taken to the next level. Okay. So that's really gorgeous. Let's look at the actual tarot for your connections. Okay. And you've got the Five of Inspiration, which is going to be the Five of Wands for this deck. Oh, wow. And the World Cosmos card. Isn't that gorgeous? So the Five of Inspirations is going to talk about competition of some kind, but because it's the Five of Inspirations, it's also speaking about competition that inspires you to be more, do more, try different things within yourself. Okay. It's going to challenge you to elevate your consciousness. You know, sometimes it also can talk about a need for collaboration. So since we're talking about your connections here, it is talking about that what's blossoming in your connections is a sense of healthy competition, a sense of collaboration, okay? And more of a friendly competition than the need to outdo each other, okay? Sometimes that's what this energy is saying, but when we're looking at what's going to be blossoming in your connections, is there's this idea that competition makes us better. You know, they say iron sharpens iron. So if you are with people who are also striving and doing good things, it's going to force you to want to do better too. And so that's a beautiful thing to have blossoming in your connections. The other thing that's so gorgeous to have in your connections is the World, because the World is sort of an end of a cycle, right? But it's also so, so beautiful because it really talks about success. It talks about attainment, celebration, full circle joy. So there may be an ending of a cycle, but it's a reminder that new things are coming forth. So make sure that everything is been tied up nicely with a bow. So in relation to in your connections, it's like saying that really the world is at your feet. The possibilities are endless in terms of what can happen within your connections and in your partnerships. All right. And all of that. Wow. Just this beautiful energy of pushing each other to the next level and then being able to find success and ultimate joy, full-bodied joy within your connections is going to be blossoming. That's lovely. Love that. That's gorgeous. Okay, now let's look at what's blossoming in your work or career. Wow, wish fulfillment. The Nine of Cups. Look at that joy in that card. In your space of work and career and abundance. The Nine of Cups. Woo, and you've got the Justice card. So you've got the Nine of Cups. Can you see that? And Justice. So justice is all about karma and the equilibrium, and that the natural law is about balance. And you've got the Nine of Cups, which is one of the best cards in the tarot, because it is really talking about a wish fulfillment. And it talks about not just getting your dream, obtaining your dream, but also just having this great sense of gratitude and this overwhelming sense of abundance because the universe is gifting your desire, okay? It is a card of happiness, what you've been wishing for. And it's interesting because our first card was a sincere wish will be granted. So I'm wondering if that wish was in the realm of your work and career, because it's saying very clearly here that a wish is going to be granted there. That is gorgeous. And these are strong cards to be showing up within, a next 7 to 10 day reading. Some very powerful energies because your Justice card is major arcana. And like I said, this is about coming to balance where you may have been, treated unjustly in some way. That is coming around full circle, and justice will be given to you. And I feel like that justice is coming from that wish fulfillment. That wish fulfillment is going to be your justice, and that is just gorgeous. Oh, I'm so happy for you, pile number 3. That is beautiful. Let's see what the guidance is from Spirit. Okay, so you've got deep freeze. Now, this card is talking about taking a pause. It's saying that something that you've been working really hard on right now is not going to benefit from further striving and pushing right now. There's a need for you to take a break and put things on pause. Sometimes we have to do that when we're in the middle of working on something like a project or some kind, because by stepping away from the project for just a bit, giving it a chance to breathe, pause, then you're able to kind of see it from a new perspective, and that can help you take the project to a new level that you didn't even think you could take it to. So Spirit is saying to you, it is time for you to do a bit of a deep freeze, a deep dive into just stillness, okay? So that is one of your messages from Spirit. And it kind of makes sense because you've had this sense of being at a kind of completion, right? You may see some wishes fulfilled and there's a sense of success and completion. And before we jump into the next thing, then we want to take some time to find the balance, right? To find the balance and figure out what we're manifesting next and step fully into that. Now, this is the final card that we have from Spirit, and it talks about truth. It is the Raven Spirit, okay? It talks about speaking your truth. The soul loves the truth, all right? So find your truth, speak your truth, live your truth, be fearless in your journey, follow your inner guidance, let go of what is not authentic or sincere in your life, and be a shining example of truth for others. So Spirit is really saying, one, take a pause, allow yourself to step back. I think that's also going to allow you to see whatever truth you need to see in the situation. And then they're saying to come full force in being authentically you, speaking your truth and living your truth. And that is sometimes easier said than done, but it is a powerful way to move within your life and move on your soul journey. And ultimately, it becomes absolutely imperative to walk in your full truth so that you can complete and do the work that you're here to do. So that is your reading for what's going to be blossoming for you within the next 7 to 10 days. I hope that you found something joyful and beneficial here. I think this is a beautiful reading, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next readings. If you wouldn't mind to please go ahead and click that subscribe button or the like button if you like the readings that you're getting here. That helps me grow the community and also get a sense of what it is that people are liking. So thank you so much. I hope you have a joyful, abundant week. Bye-bye.